The concept of prophets or so-called men of God or apostles having carnal knowledge with their church members, especially small girls, then refusing to take responsibility of the products that comes out of that carnal knowledge is become something that has been normalized by the so-called men of God. So we looked at the story of Bushiri and the Botswana girl, of which we confirmed it was true that Bushiri was hitting on the little girl. So here again today is another apostle, a man of God, Apostle Chibuzo Chinyere. Is famously known for his philanthropic missions and whatnot. So in this case, there is a woman here who is claiming that the alleged man of God apparently had carnal knowledge with her, and then she gave birth, and then he still refused to take responsibilities. So we are going to play that audio recording for you so that you can hear it for yourself, and then we will respond, we will react to that. Not wasting much time, let's get right into it.
She reported to the church board. So they will have been holding meeting and looking for a way to make him go for a DNA test. According to his barrister, he has always refused, that he doesn't want to go for a DNA test. They said no. The barrister said he told him, come, if these children are saying you got them pregnant and you are saying you did not, prove yourself wrong. And the only way you can do that is to get a DNA test.
Sit down.
So they had to force him. This thing, I'm telling you, started all in June. It took them July, August, September, October, November to be able to force this man to go for a DNA test.
Which year?
5 months. Last year, 2022.
I think the young lady in question has a point there. If somebody is claiming that you are the biological father to a particular candidate, and you know for sure that you are not the biological father to a particular candidate, and then you are still refusing to go for a DNA test because you think as a man of God it will ruin your reputation and whatnot. A man of God is a human being after all, isn't it? So they're allowed to have kids and whatnot. So, but if you are refusing to take responsibility of something that they are accusing you of which you can clear a name by taking a DNA test, then it raises suspicions that you indeed did it, and then you are the father. We will all believe that he's the father since he's refusing to take that so-called DNA test. So let's continue with the story here and see how it unfolds.
So that was it. And then 3 months into the pregnancy, someone else actually got pregnant for him. And there he came and started telling me that someone told him that I was having an affair with my ex-boyfriend when I was in his house. So that the pregnancy is not his own, that he is not responsible.
So the man of God in question impregnates a young lady. He refuses to take responsibility, and then goes on again to impregnate another young lady again. Hey, this so-called man of God. We are seeing things here. Hey, this is a man who practically have children of other people in his house. A child who is biologically his, who is allegedly biologically his, you understand the point, is a child whom he refuses to take responsibility of. Does that make sense? Of course it doesn't. Let's continue and see what we have here.
So that I should not come and give him another man's child and expect him to take care of the baby. I was like, where is that information coming from? I was not in any relationship before I came to your house. The person I was with at that time, we had broken up. When I came to your house, I was not with anybody. So where is that kind of information coming from? He said he got it from a reliable source. I said, anyway, that is not my problem because I know it is a lie. He said, okay, I should bear it at the back of my mind that he will not be taking care of me and the pregnancy again until I deliver. And then we go for a DNA test. Beautiful. I said, thank God there is even a DNA test. At least you will get to know the truth. And I actually thought it was a joke. He refused taking responsibility for the pregnancy. You call him, he won't answer you. You send him message, he will not respond. Once in 2 months, he will send you 50,000. You can stay and say, probably by the time I have gotten angry and talk and cry.
I mean, come on, my fellow African man. If you did it, you did it. Take responsibility of your actions and stop living a life of excuses. You have many kids living in your house. You are spreading money everywhere to people. Just take care of the young lady, and then let's wait for the alleged results to come out. Then we can indeed see whether the child is yours or it's not yours. The child is born, then you are still refusing to go for a DNA test. You see these so-called prophets and men of God, they are not make sure.
Sometimes after getting angry and begging him, I will now stop getting angry. I will start begging him. That's when he will send money. So at that point, it was as if I was now forcing him to take responsibility. He kept telling me he doesn't want to invest in another man's child. And at that point, after a while, I got into depression. So many things started happening. Throughout the pregnancy, I was always alone. I couldn't tell anybody. Every single time I told him, if you continue with this, I'll be forced to tell somebody about it. He said, if you tell anybody about this thing, he will threaten me. You don't know you're dealing with something that will consume you and your whole family. He will do this, he will do that.
So you refuse to take the responsibility. At least the young lady wants to get the story out there so that many people can help you confirm the paternity of the child. I mean, every child deserves to know their biological parents, their mother and the father. I mean, these are the people that come later in the child's life to claim that they are indeed the biological parent of that child in question. So we should learn to take responsibilities and not claim ignorant, knowing surely that we did the deed that led to the deed that is doing the deed.
Fast forward to 2020 March, I had the child. 21st March.
How old is this child now?
It's currently 3 years and 3 months.
Okay.
So fast forward to 2020 March 21st, I had the baby. He requested for a picture. I sent him a picture, and he was like, "Oh, okay, I'm sending you 100,000 now. Go and buy."
So you still requesting for a picture of the child. I mean, all evidence is pointing towards the fact that this guy here is the biological father of the child. He's still requesting the picture of the child, and maybe he did this African DNA. You know how this African DNA works, right? You just look at the child, and then boom, the child is yours. You know, our grandfathers and grandmothers, especially grandmothers, they know how to do this thing very well. Just look at him and look at you and like, yeah, the child is yours. Maybe he did that, and I was like, yo, like this child is mine. And now we want to send 100,000 naira. Some of the stories we hear from these prophets, they don't constitute what we call men of God. They don't at all. You will not make sure, Chief. Sir, you will not make sure, sir.
AC, put inside the room where the baby will be sleeping. I don't want him to sweat till I do DNA test.
Do you still have
the baby is already living a city life. The baby is already living a city life directly from birth. The alleged father who is refusing to take responsibility is already saying that I'm giving you 100,000, you should buy AC, then this way the baby will be sleeping. I don't want the baby to be sweating before I do a DNA test. It's going down.
Are you using to send this money?
Yes, it's still the same account. On the 21st of March 2020 in the evening.
So if you call for a settlement of account, we are going to see this.
Yes, you will see it 100,000 on 21st of March.
Okay.
Yes. So.
But the same phone is not the same phone. Is this the same phone you're using right now?
No, it's not the same phone.
Yeah, the young lady in question is speaking with confidence to show that indeed, I don't know in this case, to show that indeed the particular man of God in question is the biological father to the child. And I don't know in this state whether to blame the prophet or to blame the lady. But the prophet, I mean, these young ladies, they go to this prophet looking for healings and whatnot, and then they receive something else there. I mean, these so-called men of God, they have no healing to offer, whatnot. They have something else to offer, offering everybody pregnancy, dashing pregnancies up and down. Apostle Chibuzo Chinyere, touch not my anointed ones and do my prophets no harm. In this channel, we touch the anointing. My name is Kazamulam Tuman once more. Let's continue to hear this juicy story of how an apostle was refusing a whole pregnancy.
I'm using right now.
Okay.
Yes. So after that day, I still did not answer him. I went to the house. Even after the baby was born, he was actually his very carbon copy. He still refused to take responsibility. That being said, this thing kept happening. 2021, he sent Chinedu outside. He kept telling me he would do a DNA test. He would do a DNA test. The baby was 1 year, no DNA test. 2 years, no DNA test. He kept promising, nothing came up. We were still beating around the bush. Today, at some point, I told him, you have to do this DNA test. If not, I will tell people about it. He said nobody can force him to do a DNA test. That he can only do it when his spirit tells him to do it.
He can only do it when he sees the child in a spirit realm. Everything that these so-called men of God do is you have to be based on some spirituality of some sort, of which there is no spirituality whatsoever. There's no spiritual realm in which they're tapping into. Touch not my anointed ones and do a prophet no harm. Will be following this story up to see how it unfolds, whether the young lady in question will get justice or not, and whether the alleged father, of which in this case the probability of him being a father is 95%, then who already doing DNA test for him, because all evidence is pointing towards the fact that this guy here is the father. I mean, he could have done a DNA test, right? Proved himself not to be the father, and then get away with this scandal. I mean, end this whole charade. Does not look good on his image as a man of God. So the young lady was tired, and she has to come out with it to show the people that this is what to have in the person of a prophet or an apostle chibuzo chinyere. So with that, I'm out. See you in the next one.